Welcome to a new interview. I have one of my favorite guests today. He is clever, he is funny, and he is a gay icon. Stand up for the king of grinder in London. We will switch to London now. Let's celebrate the incredible Mark Bittlestone, aka Poofras. Hey, Mark, welcome to my interview. Goedendag, hello, welcome. That's different languages, but they meaning the same. So, how are you and do you feel good today?
Yeah, great. I'm good. I'm really good. Thank you so much for having me on your interview show. Thanks for that lovely introduction. Uh, King of Grinder in London. Yeah, I think there's some other guys who probably deserve that crown more than me, but I'll accept it. Yeah, I'm really good. Thank you. How are you?
I feeling good. I'll listen to a lot of music today. And it is how is the weather in London?
It's been it's been very good for the last 2 weeks or week, and then just today it started raining. So I think, but it's not as warm as it was before, so it's nice. It's very warm. It's warm in Germany, right?
It's too warm for me.
Mm.
It's 36 degrees.
Oh, yeah, that's too warm.
I know you since 4 months now. Yes, it would since it's 4 months now. So introduce yourself, please, for the people who do not know you yet. So who are you and what do you do for living? This question reminds me of yesterday.
Yeah, 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 sure. So my name's Mark Bittlestone, and I'm a comedian, a stand-up comedian, based in London, and I do quite a lot of videos as well, so TikTok and Instagram, and primarily my comedy focuses on being gay, and I also tutor kids, academic tutor. So I tutor like maths and English and history, but that's really to make enough money to be able to do comedy. So yeah, that's my life.
That's fabulous. So I must show on my paper because you had a lot of different activities and jobs. So you are a successful comedian, author of a blog, you're a gay icon on social media, and an academic truther. So your activities could be not more different. Did I forgot one activity?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, yeah, in a way. But I think like when you're teaching, you know, you have to be confident. You have to. It's nice to use humor, to use comedy. You have to be engaging and charismatic, and you want your students to like you. So those are quite a lot of the same skills that you need in comedy as well. So they're not as different as maybe you think. Yeah.
I would like to begin to talk about your job as academic tutor. So how was your own school time for you?
Yeah, it was very good, thank you. I was very lucky. I come from a very privileged background, and I went to private school, to an amazing school with great facilities. And my parents were very supportive of my education and were always pushing me to study harder and this kind of thing. So, yeah, I went to a very good school, and then I went to Cambridge University, where I studied history, and then I did 2 master's degrees, one in business management and one in film, which is good. Yeah, and then I finally left. But yeah, I had a really good time in education.
That sounds great that you have a good time. So are you still mainly a tutor?
Yeah, I probably tutor maybe something like 20 hours a week. somewhere between 15 and 20 hours a week, which is obviously very, very lucky to be able to do that, because that means I have more time then to do, comedy videos and to do gigs in the evening. So yeah, I think, I do both.
So how did you get into tutoring?
Yeah, well, it's a good question. I started really when I left school, because tutoring is often like a casual job that maybe, university students will do, or people taking like a gap year. So I used to do it, just to earn some extra money. And then, because it's so flexible, and because, the pay is really good, it's more money than I could get, working in a shop or something like that. I thought it works really well with comedy because, I can make my own schedule, and I'm my own boss. I can decide which students, and then exactly. So it's really flexible, and it works really well.
And what was your first steps of your academic tutoring career?
My first steps, yeah, well, I often tutored kind of my, like, friends of friends, or their little brothers, that kind of thing. And then, yeah, then I used to do these revision courses for this company in the university holidays. And then, yeah, I just decided that it was the best thing I could do, because I think it's difficult when you do something like comedy. And I think this is probably true also of lots of other things in the arts, like acting or photography, but anything where, you know, you don't make enough to live on. You have to choose, really, do I do something else that I really like, but then you maybe don't have so much time to do what you love, or do I just do something to make enough money? And yeah, I'm very lucky that tutoring, I can make enough money, and I quite like it. So yeah.
That sounds great, because the most people said money is the most important thing, and I say money is the base to be happy. So
Definitely.
you can be happy, but with money you can be happier.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely. I mean, you need to pay your bills, obviously, but yeah, I think it's worth trying to do something that you love.
Yes. And what was the most difficult step on your way to be an academic tutor?
Well, I did work at a school as a teacher, but I actually lost my job because in English we have an expression to pull a sickie, which means you get that. Yeah, to fake a day off. I had a comedy gig to do, so I had to pull a sickie for a parents' evening, and they found out and they weren't happy, and they fired me. Yeah. So that was tough. I guess I was teaching then, not tutoring. But after that, I was like, okay, I'm just going to tutor, because then it's much easier to, then this won't happen again, because I'll be able to just make my own timetable. Yeah. Okay, exactly. And then it means I'm available at 2:30 on a Thursday to do this interview.
You went to the King's College in Wimbledon, is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And what did you learn there, and how was the time there?
I mean, it was amazing. As I said earlier, I'm very lucky to have gone to such an amazing school. It's a private school, so it's you have to pay to go, and so I'm very fortunate to have gone there. I think probably one aspect that was probably sad about it is that there wasn't really any education in LGBT matters at all. So, you know, in my entire time there, I was in the closet, if you like. I didn't tell anyone I was gay. So when I look back, I think I think that is sad. And also kind of now, sort of 10 years on, I'm myself a bit of a socialist. And yeah, I don't really think that the private school system should exist because it gives you such an advantage. You know, you go to the best universities and then you get the best jobs and all that thing. But to answer your question, yeah, I learned a huge amount, and I had a really good time generally.
That's really great because, yes, my school time was often not so great.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But I can tell more about it later in the interview. There's a
Yeah.
question, then I can tell it. So you began at the University of Cambridge 2012 till 2015. I found out a lot at my research.
Yeah.
How was the 3 years at the University of Cambridge?
Yeah, it was really good, thank you. I was studying history, which I loved, and I got to study lots of different periods, some German history, sort of after the Second World War. So when Germany was, you know, West Germany and East Germany, and yeah, it was so interesting. And I had a great time there as well. I played, yeah, I played quite a lot of sports, made some amazing friends, did lots of silly things. And yeah, I'm still best friends with the people I met there. So yeah, it's an amazing place.
So both colleges and university are really historical. How was the feeling to visit such historical institutions?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think you when you're there, you kind of feel like you have a responsibility to you know, try and be as good as all the other people who have been there before you. And I think part of the reason why, you know, Cambridge produces, you know, people who lead in their fields is because isn't really because I think people who go to Cambridge are more intelligent than anywhere else, but you have a confidence because you're following in the footsteps of people who have been there before. So it is, yeah, it's unfair, definitely, but it is very inspiring, yeah, to be surrounded by these kind of ancient buildings. Yeah.
Yes, I understand you. It can be a great feeling to learn there.
Yeah, exactly.
You have worked at a school in New Zealand.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Tell more about this experiment.
When I left school in 2011, I wanted to take a year away from, you know, work and education. So I went to a school. But no, I was working as like in England we call them gappies because the phrase gap year means like a year between school and university. But I was at an amazing school in Auckland in New Zealand called Dilworth, which is a very it's a charity where all the children are on full bursaries, full scholarships. They don't pay any money because they come from difficult circumstances. And so, yeah, I was there helping out with sport, helping out a bit with maths and history, but really I was just there for a year, sort of having fun, to be honest.
So what did you learn about yourself at this time in New Zealand, and how did the time form your character?
Yeah, great, lovely question. I think I had to be very independent. I mean, actually, my mum had passed away when I was 17, so only like 2 months before I left for New Zealand for a year. So it was kind of this feeling of, yeah, being on my own, being responsible for myself. It was a place where I had to kind of get over that loss as well. And I think it was a good thing because it just got me out of, the country and out of the, close contact with people who knew about it. And I could kind of forget about it for a bit, really.
That sounds amazing. So, what was the reason that you choose English, math, and history as your subjects? Because the most people won't walk away of math in this future.
Yeah. So those are the three subjects that I tutor, because really, well, history, because I studied it at university, so it's just easy. But English and maths is where there's the most demand for, because it's probably the same in Germany with, German and maths, but those are the two basic, like the building blocks, and everyone has to have a GCSE in those. Everyone really wants to be good at those. So if you teach them, that's where the most work is. And also, do you know what? Even though I studied history and I love English literature, maths is my favorite to teach because it's so easy to teach. I don't have to do any preparation. There's no the other student doesn't have to do like loads of reading. It's just answer this question. No, that's wrong, or yes, that's right.
That's great. Math was not my favorite subject.
Really?
I don't know. In my opinion, some people are born for math and some people are not
Yeah.
born for math. Am I the second part of it?
But it's funny because, yeah, I know what you mean, but I think maths is one of those subjects where it's so easy to fall behind, and people lose confidence in it very quickly as a child. And then because there's this feeling, like you say, that you're just either good or bad at maths, unless you have a really understanding teacher who's patient and picks you back up, you never really catch it up again. And then you just think, I'm useless at maths. When really, I don't think anyone's useless at maths. I think it's so simple. It's just like building block on building block on building block. I think anyone can be good at it.
I hear you and I understand you. What is so fascinating about the job as academic tutor?
Not very much, to be honest. Not very much. I think, it's fine. I don't love it, but it's what we describe as a means to an end, which means like, you do it because you have to, and it lets me do comedy, so that's great. But I do really like almost most of my students. They're generally really nice kids, and we often make jokes and have a laugh, and yeah, I always want them to do well, and yeah, I have a really good relationship with them, so that's the nice part of it, the human interaction.
That sounds good because the interaction with other people has a great feeling.
Definitely. Yeah, I would much rather do this than something just on a computer where you don't see anyone during the day. Yeah.
So a lot of people need to search for the perfect job a really, really long time. So when you know that you want to be an academic tutor?
Yeah, well, I think the thing is, the answer is I don't want to be an academic tutor. The dream, would be, I don't know, 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, to be earning enough money from comedy to say, great, I can give up. I can quit tutoring. But you know, we'll just see. So yeah, but I'm very lucky because it's very flexible and it pays well. So there could be many worse jobs.
And what do you want bring your students on the way? Because every tutor has other things what they want give the students on the way.
Yeah, I think I just try and kind of teach them to you know, you really have to start learning how to learn, kind of learning how to work. It's not just about what you're learning, it's like the techniques and working hard and making a plan. Planning is often the main one that I teach them, like planning your work, planning an essay. Yeah.
And what experiences from your tutor career do you still remember with pleasure today?
Yeah, I think I've had some students, you know, who have had struggles. I've had a student for a while who has, you know, ADHD, which is, you know, like an attention problem. And so, yeah, working with them to find a way that they could learn positively was a really rewarding experience. Yeah.
That's great. So I was always, and I am always a really big warrior and fighter at the school because
Yeah.
I don't get marks which I want, but I learn a lot and work a lot for it, but the result is not what I want.
Oh no.
So I got my education, you know, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
I wrote my exam in the subject, which was not good,
Oh no.
but I got my education.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. And you just finished your university career, right?
Yes, it's like the first year in the college.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And what was your goals and visions as tutor at the beginning of your career, and how did it change
Yeah.
over the time?
Well, I think really it's kind of always just been just it's worked, you know what I mean? I just do it as like a side dish so that I can do comedy. So my real goal is to stop doing it soon.
So we will change the topic a bit now. The tutoring topic is not over, but the most of it is over
Mhm,
now.
mhm.
One of the reasons that I was so happy to do the interview is that it's a gay conversation. So my experiments is that I sometimes I can talk better with gay people than with
Yeah,
straight people. So because they understand me more.
for sure.
So we will take a few on your comedy and being gay in the UK.
Great.
So where were you born and how did you grow up?
So I was born in like southwest London. I grew up in Wimbledon, where they have the tennis tournament every year. Um, yeah, so I spent most of my time there as a child, and yeah, I had a very privileged, very lucky upbringing. Um, you know, we were wealthy, and my parents were, you know, emotionally available, very kind and sweet people. So yeah, I was very lucky.
That sounds great because a good childhood formed the character.
Definitely, yeah, yeah,
And it is often really difficult to me to be the only gay person in my surroundings and environment. So
yeah,
school time. How was it for you to grow up as gay person in school and university? And yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah. Yeah. So I kind of probably, realized I was gay at sort of age 13, 14. But my school was an all boys school, and it was just not a very mature environment. And so I said, I don't really want to come out here because I don't think my friends, I don't think it's a great environment for that. There wasn't any, like I said earlier, there wasn't any education about LGBT issues. There wasn't really any discussion about it at all. So then I decided that I'd come out later, maybe when I was 21. But really, when I went to university, I should have come out in my first year. I waited for some reason until my third year before finally coming out. But that was fine. Everyone was great, and yeah, I've kind of not looked back since. So yeah, difficult for sure, very lonely, especially in my first probably 2 years at university. Felt very lonely, but good since then. Yeah.
So every coming out is different. I will tell a bit about my coming out. I always known that I am gay. So, but I didn't understand what it is.
Yeah.
So I came out when I was 18, 1 week before my birthday.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah, so it's the crazy thing on it. There came out a movie called Love, Simon.
Yeah.
And then I went to the cinema, and then I make my coming out on my mother. And then I went to the cinema again. Then I came out to my father, and
Oh, that's really nice. That's really funny. And it was okay?
it was great. Yes,
Oh, good.
my best friends knew that I was gay.
Yeah.
So I have my best friends since 10 years.
Nice.
Tell me more about your experiences of your coming out.
Yeah, so I was lucky, I guess, because I had a friend of a friend who was gay and who I really fancied. And so when we were in, I was in a club, a nightclub, and I was quite drunk, and I told him that I was gay. And then he said, "Why don't we go for a coffee?" So we went for a coffee, and he was very kind. And then actually, me and him ended up dating, and so we ended up in a relationship. So then I sort of had to tell people really, but he was very great. He really helped me tell everyone, and I remember calling my sister on the phone, and she was great. And then I told my two brothers actually in a bar, and we were really drunk, and one of them just didn't. I obviously thought I was joking or something, because the following week he was like, "Wait, I thought you were joking." But no, everyone, as you'd hope, has been fine, no problems at all, really. So it's just a big thing in my head, really.
That's great that you had a great view on the coming out, because a lot of people had bad experiences with coming out.
For sure.
And what was the hardest thing on your coming out?
Yeah, I think probably just convincing myself to do it. Really, I think you just persuade yourself that it's going to be really difficult, that you've maybe built an image of yourself that people don't actually have, that people will care much more than you think they will, that it's maybe not the person you wanted to be or thought you were going to be. So yeah, I think just convincing myself really, and summoning up the courage. But once you told one person, that definitely, it becomes easier really every time, doesn't it?
So my coming out was the hardest and the best thing at the same time. So it
Yeah.
was hard and it was the best. What meaning has the coming out to you? Because some people tell, and I have the same opinion, coming out should be not important anymore.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. I think, yeah, you shouldn't. I mean, obviously, we all want to live in a society where you shouldn't have to come out, where you shouldn't even have to define yourself with a label, where you can just date a boy or a girl, or someone who's non-binary or whoever, and it doesn't matter. Unfortunately, we don't necessarily live there yet, and yeah, I think for me, I probably sort of felt certainly like I had to, come out. But yeah, it'd be great if if I have children, if they feel like they don't really have to say anything, they can bring whoever they want home or introduce me to whoever they want, and it doesn't matter.
Yes, that's true. There are a lot of famous examples. I don't, yes, Ricky Martin is an example.
Mm. Yeah, absolutely.
What was the first thing what you did after your coming out?
Yeah. Well, very soon, like I was saying, very soon after coming out, I got this boyfriend. So, very quickly after coming out, I was kind of in a relationship with everything that entails. So, someone kind of relying on me, or holding hands in public and kissing in public and all that kind of thing. So it was a real kind of whirlwind, or a very very sort of fast period of adjustment. But yeah, it was really good, really really rewarding. So it probably wasn't, until I was like 22, 23 that I went to a gay club or a gay bar. Yeah.
So a lot of people of the LGBTQ plus community got bullied in the past. So my
Yeah.
experiences is it began very early. I was 8 years old.
Oh, Mike, I'm so sorry.
I can remember, so I had sport as subject then, and the
Yeah.
people, all students laughed about me.
Oh, Mike.
And yes, and so the people laughed about me in group chats. I can remember my friends sent me the group chats, so
Oh,
I saw it, and I. But the positive thing is, I saw who is real and who is fake.
yeah, of course. I'm so sorry. That's so difficult.
So the most, yes, the most sad thing was I cried often after school.
Oh, Mike, that breaks my heart. You poor, poor guy.
But after, yes, I came out, and then yes, a few people said sometimes about me. Yes, one guy laughed about me in the bus. I was in the bus. Yes, but back to the question, what are
Um,
your experiences with?
yeah, I mean, with bullying,
Yes,
yeah, I'm very lucky. I mean, first of all, I went to a brilliant school where they were very strict about bullying, and of course bullying goes on everywhere, but there definitely wasn't much at my school, or it wasn't an epidemic. So first of all, I was very lucky. I think secondly, I was always charismatic and kind of funny, and I played sports and this kind of thing. So I wasn't really a target for the bullies. So, and also, I didn't come out. So if they didn't necessarily know I was gay. Um, but even if, to be honest, thinking now, even if I had come out, I don't think I would have been bullied, because yeah, I think I'm lucky that my personality is such that, you know, I think I probably could have, you know, just ridden above it. But I think it's mostly to do with my school. Very lucky I went to an amazing school with the resources to handle bullying and deal with it. Yeah.
And we came to an happy topic now.
Yeah.
So I read that you was on a lot of travels. You was in Japan 2019, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
And you was in New Zealand, so you made the teacher for a short time.
Yeah, yeah.
Which differences did you see between the countries in relation to being gay?
Well, really interesting question. I think, yeah, I went to Japan recently in 2019 in the autumn, actually for the Rugby World Cup, which was amazing. There, I think, kind of gay culture definitely exists. There's a little gay neighborhood in Tokyo, but I think it's much less visible. There's much less, you know, queer representation than in the UK. I think New Zealand is quite similar to the UK, maybe even better in terms of representation. But again, you know, all these countries, you know, New Zealand has a very macho rugby, you know, culture. So there's that. And then I also, you know, I went around Indonesia in 2015 with my boyfriend. And it's interesting, you know, sort of Asian cultures like that. Indonesia is also an Islamic, broadly, country. And there's less, you know, public acceptance, but I kind of found, almost at the local level, more tolerance that of you know, yeah, of it. I found there were camp people and clearly gay, you know, people kind of everywhere we went, and yeah, there wasn't much. I don't think they were probably maybe not openly gay, but it was clear that they were. So different societies, I guess.
And what is your best gay story of your travels?
I went to the World Cup final, the Rugby World Cup final in Japan, and England lost to South Africa, unfortunately. But then afterwards, my friend and I went to a gay bar in Tokyo until like 5 a.m. or something. And then I had to get an 8 a.m. flight from Tokyo airport. And I was so drunk. So my friend basically had to like pack my bag for me, put me in a taxi. And I don't know how I got on the flight because I was so drunk. But yeah, that was a funny one.
So one very interesting fact is that you founded a gay soccer team in the past. Tell more about it.
No, I haven't. I found one, or I founded one.
You know, you found one. I don't know.
No, that's fine. No, in English, there's two words: to find something, as in, you know, you find something, and then to found. If you found, it means you created. No, I found one. Yeah, I saw one. There are lots in London. There's lots in London, lots of gay sports teams. And I was going to join it. But then, as I said on Newbies, I'm very shallow. And I just went through the Facebook photos and thought, nah, they're not very fit. So yeah, so I do play for a football team though, for my old university team, but it's not a gay team.
Yes. My experiences with soccer is that the people love laughed about me.
Oh, Mike, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I think, I think for a lot of, gay people, that's what, turned them off football, was the association with bullying, which is really, really sad.
So now we will play a game now.
Right.
There could be a few dirty questions.
That's okay.
So I watched on YouTube a few videos about this game. It
Yeah.
called Ever Have I Ever. So you know
Yeah.
the so if you have it, if you say I have, then you can tell a story about it.
Great. Sure.
So I have my little box here
Brilliant.
and I will begin.
Sure.
Never have I ever done anything crazy to talk to someone else you found attractive.
Oh, I definitely have. Uh, what have I done? Yeah, there's the guy I was talking about, the guy that I came out to at university. He was really, really a beautiful guy, and I wanted to like create some way of talking to him. And he like posted on Facebook that he was looking for tickets to this night, this club night. And I thought, oh, I need to get a pair of these tickets. So then I forced my friend to sell me hers. I was like, I need them for this. I didn't tell her why. I was like, I really, really need them. So I literally forced her to sell them to me. And then I messaged him being like, hey, do you want these tickets? So that, I could initiate some sort of conversation. But by the time I did that, he actually already had tickets. So anyway, I just went along to the night, but spoke to him there. But yeah, the lengths I went to.
So I have a story too. I didn't know if the guy was gay. So
Right. Yeah.
I had a crush on him. So
Yeah.
it was not, and he went with his friends to another building of the school and I ran to him. He was with his friends.
Mm.
Yes, it was. And he messaged me later. It was, yes,
Oh
that was
gosh.
my story.
Was he gay? Is he gay?
I don't know.
Don't know. Maybe
So
message him now.
I think he is gay,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
Who knows? Yeah, yeah.
So the next question is, never have I ever been asked to be someone's gay best friend.
No, no one's ever asked me that, no, but sometimes once or twice, like my friend Hannah has called me that, and I've just been like, don't call me that.
A friend asked me to be, so she was my friend and she asked me to be his gay best friend.
Mm.
So I didn't understand what she wanted.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Would you go shopping with her or something?
Yes.
Ridiculous.
Then is the next question. It's a bit dirty.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. I cannot read the question. Never have I ever had sex with a funky role play.
With a funky role play. Um, I don't actually really think I have, to be honest. That's really boring, but I don't know. I don't, maybe like a kind of like, the kind of dom sub role play in the gay world. I've kind of done that. Um, it's not really interesting enough to be a role play. It's just like, yeah, bit of dirty talk. But yeah, nothing major, no like dressing up in like, I don't know, 19th century outfits or anything.
No, I haven't. Yes, I haven't.
Yeah,
So the
yeah.
next question is, never have I ever been attracted to a straight guy.
Oh God, yeah, loads, loads. I mean, of course. I think like I was in love with at least like two of my friends when I was growing up and at school. So yeah, it's the tragedy of a gay man, right? That you're destined to fall in love with someone who's never going to love you back. So 100%. What about you?
Yeah. Yes, I have. So if I had a crush on somebody, yes, it happened that I had a crush on some. It can be
Yeah,
celebrity, and then
yeah, that works.
yes, you said like Ricky Martin. So
Hey, he's gay.
yes, he's gay.
Message him on Instagram.
No, he's married and has 2 children.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool.
And then the next questions, never have I ever dressed in drag.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah, definitely. Recently for Eurovision, I was dressed as a member of ABBA. Yeah. How about you?
I would like try it, but I never tried it before.
Yeah, you should. You should. It's fun. Quite a lot these days. But I've never like. One day I want to like curate a drag character. Actually build a character, get a look, that kind of thing. Because it's just been like fancy dress so far.
And how was the Eurovision Song Contest for you this year?
It was really fun. I went to a party and we got really drunk. There was like different rules. So like you have to drink every time they switch language or there's a key change in the music. So it was really fun. But yeah, the UK are terrible every year. We got zero points.
Oh,
But yeah,
that's a normal situation for Germany.
is it normally? Yeah, yeah.
Yes, the last 5 years, 2015 begins it with 0 points. And
Wow.
then they have 10 points. Yes, it was before 3 years they got the fourth place.
God, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's tough. If like you're a big, I think the UK and Germany, I think other countries don't really like them, particularly Germany because of the Eurozone crisis. Greece hates them and all this kind of thing. Yeah,
Germany won 2010. That's great.
there you go. Yeah. I don't know when we last won, 1990 or something.
Yes, I watched with my 2 best friends on Zoom together.
Yeah, yeah. Is it like a Eurovision in the UK is like a big gay festival? Is that the same in Germany?
No, yes, absolutely yes. It's a big celebration. The problem is the most German people don't support the German act.
Yeah, yeah. Same in England.
They say that we will make the last place again.
Yeah, yeah. So they just don't care, definitely.
So we cannot take a better place if Germany say, no, we cannot do it.
Yeah, yeah. Totally.
Yes, then we will come to the next question of the game. Never have I ever sex that lasted more than 1 hour.
Yeah, yeah. I'd say so. Yeah, like a session. Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm not. No.
You got a lot of time left. You're only 21, Mike. So you got a lot of time left. You're only 21, Mike. So
So the problem was my coming out was 2018, and then came 2019. I wanted to go to a gay bar, but I was not so confident.
yeah, it's hard. It takes a long time. Yeah.
And then comes 2020. I don't need more
Yeah,
to
I know.
say.
The coronavirus.
Did you enjoy the game?
Oh, I love the game. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I thought you meant the England match. I don't know why I was the game. No, no, I love the, yeah, great game. Classic game. It's like a very common drinking game in the UK. So yeah, I've played it lots. Some great questions.
So you began with Twitter 2014 and Instagram 2012. How important is for you social media?
Yeah, I mean, even though I joined the sites then, I mean, I only started really doing, videos properly in September. So what's that, sort of 9 months ago? And now, yeah, it's very important. I mean, I think I get lots of work through those channels, lots of invitations to do gigs, and hopefully going forwards, I would love to get on TV and all this kind of thing. And so, these days, if you can build a platform, build an audience, then yeah, that's a really useful thing to have done.
So your tweets are truly iconic, like I'm deleting my dating apps because I want to meet someone to the old-fashioned way, the guy who homophobically bullied me at school, who secretly fancy turn out might be gay.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, yeah, very silly. But yeah, Twitter's really fun. I just tweet random stuff that comes into my head, really.
So where did you get the inspiration for the tweets?
I think all over the place, a lot of the time it's like most of my tweets are like, how much of a crap millennial am I? Do you know what I mean? Like, oh, my life's so hard. That's like a theme for the tweets, or like, how chaotic is my life, kind of thing. I'm hungover again, or how classically gay am I? Those are kind of the themes, really. So yeah, just normally when I'm walking my dog, I have a little dog, and yeah, often when I'm taking her on a walk, I'll just be like, oh, it's quite funny. It's nice with Twitter because you don't have to you don't have to make people laugh, right? Because whereas when you're doing a comedy gig, if you tell a joke and people don't laugh, that's a failure. On Twitter, it just doesn't matter. You just put it out there and it doesn't matter. Yeah.
How began your interest in comedy and how did your comedy career start?
Yeah, I was at university. I was doing my business management masters, and I wasn't really enjoying it. And Cambridge kind of has a big comedy setup. It has a theatre and comedy nights. And yeah, I think I had always acted when I was at school in plays and always done funny roles. And so and making people laugh was something that I always enjoyed, just in school and with my friends. So I thought I'll just try that out, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. I got into the Comedy Society at university, and then yeah, when I left in 2017, I did different things. I sort of worked for a production company, but then really, yeah, I think kept doing it. And then kind of when I got fired from my job as a teacher, I thought, okay, I'm going to give it a proper go and let's see what happens. So yeah.
Can you talk about your first ever stand-up comedy gig?
Yeah. So I mean, I was lucky because my first gig was at university, where it's a very welcoming crowd. My first gig was actually fine. It was really, when I then moved to London, where you the demographics of the audience are very different, that I started realizing that I probably need to work harder on my material and yeah, make it better. But I still have a lot to learn, so yeah, plenty of learning to do.
So with the pandemic came 2020, how changed the coronavirus your life as academic tutor and comedian?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's complete, obviously turned it 180 degrees. Obviously, all live comedy stopped for about 14 months, well, for about a year. I started tutoring on Zoom, which was okay, but the public examinations were cancelled for 2 years in a row, which meant that I lost a lot of money because normally you teach for the exams. But, you know, in a way, it's been very positive because I started doing the online stuff, and that has been, you know, definitely much more successful for me than just the live stuff on its own.
Do you have any exciting projects coming up that you can or not can talk about?
Yeah, I'm gonna start a kind of Instagram live series soon. It's gonna be a weekly interview called Explaining Gay Shit to Straight Guys. And I'm gonna interview someone and just talk about gay stuff. I'm writing a sitcom at the moment with a friend, a writing partner. So hopefully one day that will, yeah, turn into something. So yeah, lots of exciting projects coming.
So you started your weekly Zoom gig 2021, and what was the idea behind it?
Yeah, well, when I started it back in April, all gigs, all comedy clubs were closed in the UK. So that was really just to you know, to be able to perform comedy was part of it. But actually, I think I'm going to keep doing it because, you know, doing new material is really hard in comedy because you don't know whether it's going to be funny or not. So really, you know, you want a really nice environment to do that in, and it's a great bunch who come. You know, it's so lovely that you and others come along and do the moderating, and yeah, it's a great place to try new material, basically.
Now we come to the questions of your community. So do you think that you could do what you do living in a small town or a smaller town?
Yeah, I mean, I think it'd be hard. I think comedy, you need enough clubs and that kind of thing. I mean, probably Manchester in the UK has a big comedy scene. But yeah, I think it would definitely be harder. I think London is a great place for that kind of thing.
So is being gay a personality?
Good question. I mean, no, obviously not. But, you know, because of the way our culture works, our society works, and because you do become this other, you know, it kind of feels like there is a gay personality, right? So either you fit in with it or you don't. But no, obviously there's like a billion ways to be gay. But I think it's really funny that the stereotype does exist because then it allows you to play off it and that kind of thing. Yeah.
So we have the last three questions now. Which important lessons did you learn in your career? Because a lot of people learn lessons like never give up or something. Yes.
Yeah. Great question. I think gosh, three most important lessons. I think you know, just put a bad gig behind you. They always happen. Just move on. Don't, you know, if there's something to learn from it, but you know, just don't focus on it. Move on to the next gig because otherwise you can convince yourself that you're useless. What else? I think like work-life balance is so important because there's a real like hustle culture about comedy. You know, you need to be gigging every night of the week, but then, you know, if you don't see your friends or your family or do the things you love or your hobbies, then you're not really enjoying your life. So I think that's important, particularly, you know, if your hobby or you want your hobby to be your job. And third, I think just try and enjoy it. Make sure you're enjoying it because otherwise, you know, what's the point in anything? So if there's parts of it you don't love or you don't enjoy, then maybe, you know, think about whether that's worth it. Yeah.
And what are your wishes for the future?
I would love to be able to make enough money from comedy to stop doing tutoring. That would be so cool to be able to, spend all day doing silly videos and then go to a gig in the evening. And then I'd also love to write and star in a sitcom, a comedy program on TV, about being gay. That would be good.
The last question is, what is your important message to the world that it will be a better place?
I think we all need to be more tolerant, really, generally more tolerant of people who don't look like us or act like us or sleep with the same people as us. I think that would be a really good starting point. More tolerant, yeah, and distribute wealth. There's too much inequality. Yeah, those are my messages.
So thank you so much for your time. I enjoyed it a lot to do the interview with you. It was one of my favorite interviews till now.
Yeah.
Yes, I wish you a great day.